Um, Joe Biden made the news. He took a trip to Mother Emanuel AME past week. He had some words to say, and some other people had some words to say to him um, while he was there talking. He got protested at a church, Baptist church. They tried to shout him down out from the pulpit. I tell you, when I saw this,
They was wilding in the pews.
hey, look, in the pews. I said, when I saw this shit, it brought a little bit of a tear to my eye because I often envision myself standing up in the middle of church and saying, "You lie!" Like, oh boy, did Obama. One day.
Is that a Mexican pun?
No, it wasn't a pun. It was actually happened to Obama one time when motherfuckers thought when what's his name?
State of the Union.
During the State of the Union. I can't remember the motherfucking name. One of the Republican motherfuckers from a Bible belt or belt line state. I don't know. But yeah, he yelled out, "You lie." And I definitely want to yell out shit at a motherfucker on the pulpit a time or two. Definitely. If it ain't nothing but wrap it up. It's enough of this shit already. So Joe Biden was there and he got to talking and he was, saying shit about the world and how he saw it should be fit. And producer, if you're ready, if you could bring that video up, I got some timestamps I want you to go to for me, please. Because I watched it and it was it was some stuff. So if you could fast forward and go to 7 minutes and 50 seconds for me, please.
But the truth is under assault in America. As a consequence, so is our freedom, our democracy, our very country, because without the truth, there's no light. Without light, there's no path from this darkness. If you really care about the lives lost here, you should honor the lives lost and call for a ceasefire in Palestine. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right.
That shit for the synagogue. Shouldn't have let all those extra random white motherfuckers in the church in the first place.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Look, folks, I understand their passion, and I've been quietly working.
Yeah,
with
at that point,
government
every
to
white
get them
person
to
should have been
reduce and
removed from that
significantly
church.
get out of Gaza. I'm using all that I can to do. But I understand the passion. Look, folks, after the civil... Thank you. They don't realize that. You're a good man. Well, thank you.
Pause it right
Shout
there.
out, Auntie.
Pause it right there. Pause it right there. I wanted it to get all the way through that because I wanted all that to be seen in one clip. It went from him up there talking about how much he values life and light and all that other shit to people calling him out on the hypocrisy of that statement when you are funding a genocide across the world. And the cries to end that genocide and end your participation in it at the very least, and also ending our participation by proxy because your decision is being made in lieu of, let's keep it a being, you're circumventing Congress to give them arms and money. That's what he's doing currently. Congress is like, nah, this motherfucker is figuring out every which way he can possibly to get money over there. And he's doing it consistently. This is what the fuck is happening. This is our president. So he says that. They protest. People stand up and shout him down. What does this historically black church with the hallowed history of shit, they've been hallowed, recent history of the Dylan Ruth shooting. This is that church, Mother Emanuel Church in Charleston, South Carolina. If I'm wrong, let me know. But this is the church where Dylan Ruth came in and perused and then shot about 9 people, right? Or 12. Can't remember exactly how many he shot, but he shot about 9 or 12 people, somewhere around there. That's what happened. That's this place. And these are the people that hearing individuals saying other people, the majority of which are women and children, should not be slaughtered across the world with our arms. And you can't get up there acting like you love people so much and allow this to happen. They chant 4 more years. This staple in the black community, this cornerstone in the black community, brings Joe Biden to the pulpit and chants 4 more years when he's being hit with protest. And then after all the chants of the 4 more years, you hear the voice of one I would assume is a mother, an elder, a respected voice in the church. It sounded like it held weight because this is one voice that we heard in a room full of people that was not mic'd up. The rest of the motherfucking church shut up. And this woman proceeded to tell this man how good of a human being he was. She said, if you could rewind it back to 950 real quick. She said, "You're a good man, Joe Biden. They don't know how much you care. They don't know how hard you work."
So, thank you. They don't realize that. You're a good man. Well, thank you.
I never thought that Sam Jackson character from Django.
Nope, you're not supposed to call that lady
like
that.
a real person.
Reach. Nope, that's a reach.
Fuck that
That
shit.
is a reach.
No. You are not gonna sit up here and look at Joe Biden, the same man who eulogized Ku Klux Klan members, the same man who spoke against busing and spoke in favor of segregation. You're not going to sit here and say that this man is some great bastion of civil rights and liberty and hope for people. I cannot sit
And
here. I
you're
cannot sit here and agree that that woman just sitting there saying that shit don't sound like some bullshit. I just can't.
all right, but you're not gonna sit here and compare the dude that was the vice president under the first black president in America and compare him to a slave owner.
He called
So
that man a boy.
reach God, you gotta chill.
He called that man a boy, and he said he speak good for one of them.
He's slave owner, nigga, crying over a slave owner. Stop it, fi. Like, all right,
And you
you
don't
can
think
say
that that
you can
woman
you
will
can you
weep?
can you can you can say you don't agree with this lady, but to compare her to the goddamn to Samuel Jackson and Django,
Yep.
nah, you ain't gonna pull that
Yep.
one.
I
Nope.
am.
Nope.
Sam
You are
Jackson.
incredibly
Django.
ridiculously wrong, sir.
Django. He don't give a fuck about her. He gives so little of a fuck about that woman in particular. I don't know who the hell she is at all. But he is gonna sit here and lie in her face for the next 30 fucking minutes. He's gonna sit here in the house of God and tell these people how much he is helping them out when he is doing shit for them. He is acting in the exact disservice. This man got up here and the first thing he said was, I'm saving the American taxpayers billions by cutting healthcare costs, by dropping the price of insulin for people who need it in this country. It's been too much for far too long. He has taken the price of insulin and has made it $30 for people who need insulin that also are of a certain age. That age, I believe it's 65 and up. It's for seniors. It's only for seniors. It's not for anybody else in the fucking country. Nobody else is experiencing the benefits of these measures that he is introduced into the fucking country. He does shit and he tries to act like it's some grand thing and wonder why nobody thinks it grand. It's because no one is affected by it. Most people don't realize the benefits of the things you're touting because they go to such a small subsect of the American populace. You are only trying to placate voting centers, and we see it. I'm gonna do something for some old people. I'm gonna go to a black church. I'm gonna tell them everything they want to hear. This man sat there for 30 minutes and invoked more dead black people at the hands of white people than I can count on both my hands. He went up there to use black people's pain, their willingness to forgive, and I'm going to say it, our gullibility. Everybody sitting there clapping for that man is gullible, in my opinion. Gullible as fuck to fall for the bullshit.
So
He
pretty much we
says
Jeff Galooly.
things and does nothing. What?
I say so pretty much we Jeff Galooly.
I don't know who that is.
We just talked about him.
Oh,
Johnny Harden's bodyguard.
I think I was trying to figure out my echo situation at that point. I don't know. I had an echo I was trying to fix a minute ago. Is that the
First
Tanya
of
Harding
all,
guy?
yeah. First of all, let's get to the real issue at hand. Why are these random white people in this church in the first place? Who the fuck allowed them to talk? And they were disrespecting the church in the first place by first of all coming into our sanctuary and disrupting service. You try that shit. Try that shit with Deacon with Reverend Watson if you want to. But
Reverend
nah.
Watson ain't letting motherfucking racist warmongers in the pulpit. Probably won't happen.
Mm, I don't think these troublemakers should have been allowed in the church in the first place.
Hey fam. It's ironic in a church full of motherfuckers who, at a time when this church was really supposed to be, when it was really popping, would have been labeled a church full of troublemakers, protesting and whatnot, fighting for rights and the fair treatment of people. The fuck? This is a place for that, built for that.
Their church is built for that. It's our church.
Oh, okay. Hey, look, fuck them up then. Hey, I don't know. I think we gullible as hell. I think that the black church is doing the black community a very, very, very large disservice. And
No doubt.
I don't know if we got on it all that much, but from all of the shit, from the swag surfing in church, I saw a motherfucking video where they had a fucking Tubi movie on in the pulpit area of the church. It was a Tubi movie they did. It was wild. They do so much shit that is not church to ingratiate themselves to people who don't live the life that the person they claim to worship or honor would be proud of. And they stand on it, though. They stand on it. They act like these are the things that they're supposed to be doing. And hey, look, you moving in arms side to side with some other people, it seems like a good thing to do. And I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with you doing it to a song where motherfuckers are talking about how strippers' booties go up and down poles well. You are dancing to this shit as though people don't know the lyrics to the songs that they are humming, that they sway into. The lyrics are opposite of God. The feeling, the emotion that evokes is the opposite of God. So how the fuck is it in your church? Why are you embracing that part of anything? Yeah, it's cool to have fun. You shouldn't be. I'm not saying you have to be stuffy. Make a church song, make a gospel song, make a song for your praise and worship team and your choir to sing with a nice beat. That is not one of the motherfucking Yin Yang Twin songs talking about the window to the wall. You can't repurpose that shit.
Hey, I think we at the ground floor of niggas going from chickens biting their heads off to computer nerds. I wonder what motherfuckers was saying right back then. You are not finna steal the chicken biting headery to give it to some computer programmer.
Hey, look, man, I could be old, I could be crotchety, I could be.
I'm just saying words change. Shit changes. Shit's get
Shit
usurped.
changes? What about celebrating strippers in a church is good? Is in the right direction of like change, where change like from the oppressive, from the antiquated views.
Did they play the lyrics?
Hold on.
The song, it was in there. Singing it.
Actually, if you want to be literal about it, that is definitely in the Jesus wheelhouse.
What?
Hoes?
No, Jesus ain't bringing the hoes to the
strippers.
church. Jesus ain't bringing the hoes to the church, fam. Jesus,
He definitely did.
Jesus went to where the hoes was, and then when he brought the hoes to the church, they didn't act like hoes. They went out there. They didn't. Mary Magdalene didn't go to the Sermon on the Mount and work the crowd, fam.
You have zero idea what that bitch was doing in the crowd.
Hey, look,
You have zero idea what that bitch if she was swag surfing in the crowd.
But I believe it to be so, because when Jesus talked to these people, when he told the woman the wayward woman, the motherfucker who said she's been caught with adultery, they threw her at Jesus' feet, and Jesus said that when he would let whichever one of which you was out sin cast the first stone.
And you and in your mind of mind,
because that part is important. That's a part that people forget.
No, because
you can't go. He told her to get up. He said, "No one judge you, neither shall I." Now go and change your wicked ways. He didn't say go be the same fucking whore you've been the whole time. He said change your shit. Hey, look, I ain't finna kill you for this shit because I'm his save motherfuckers. But don't go back doing that shit no more.
Right. So now this is what
we can't be in the fucking church acting like this shit that you was doing outside and shit you supposed to be doing. You should be changed in here.
So let me give you some pushback. Pause.
Go ahead.
So do you think that motherfucking Bible told about the 3 rocks that niggas steal through? Shut up. That's my point. They left the real story out. They left the shut up. They left them 3 niggas out.
If Jesus was sitting there as Jesus and asked motherfuckers questions and then went to go draw in the dirt while a couple motherfuckers pummeled this woman with a few rocks, he wouldn't be the same Jesus, fam.
That's why they left it out the book. I mean, you literally think that nobody go shut up. Because if that was the point, if there was no dissension there would be no need for Jesus. People weren't just following rules around that motherfucker.
Right. They
That's why they
weren't.
were stoning the bitch.
I think that the point of the story is that it in that area, Jesus was a teacher. He was respected. His word was revered. So the person that brought that woman to him wanted to know what he thought of her. And so he brought her to Jesus to judge, to condemn, to do what he thought that Jesus was going to do. And when he told them, "Nah, I ain't finna do that. But if you think that you are so much better than this person and you ain't done nothing wrong in your life, then go ahead and do something. I'll wait." And he went and waited. The fact that they did it was a testament to his authority in that area, in that land. The fact that he was renowned, the fact that he was respected by some people, especially by the one that brought that chick there for that purpose. That's my interpretation of it.
Damn, that nigga said, yeah, you missing a lot of shit. He walked up to
That's
that
good,
shit.
good, but that's my
He
interpretation of it.
walked up to that shit and he said, he who is without sin cast on. And nigga didn't say, hey, y'all don't hit this bitch. He left it up to them. You didn't think a motherfucker said? You didn't think a motherfucker went, hey, I ain't sending nobody. Fuck you. Bow.
Hey, that's Jesus talking, man. Chill.
Oh, Jesus, man. Chill. Fuck Jesus. Nigga, I ain't never said. Bow. Oh. Let he who out sin cast first. Hey, go get my retarded cousin. Go get my retarded cousin. He ain't never done nothing. Go get him.
Hey,
Point is, that bitch would have got hit with a rock some type of way. And that got taken out of the book because they can't be real with you. They can't let you know the story's still a story, even though 3 niggas, the S.O.S podcast, drop rocks on that hoe.
hey, look, fam, I wouldn't hit it with no rock. First off, second of all, yeah, they don't want you to know some shit. That's why he was 12 or 13 or so,
Jacques,
and
I
then
would have had
they
to.
just
I
pop
would
back
have.
up at the end.
I would have had to. I would have had to make rock throwing look like the only thing that I wanted to ever do for you not to hit that bitch with a rock. You would have been the lead of the gatherer of the crowd of hitting that bitch with a rock, especially if some cornball walked up to you and told you you couldn't.
Nah, stall that out, fam.
Yes, you definitely would have hit the bitch with a rock.
Hey, look,
Definitely, especially if somebody called you and
I have a stronger constitution than that, but hey, look, it sounds like you speaking of the wherewithal and the makeup of the modern day church goer. It seems like
no,
that's
nigga, I'm talking about the
you
Jacques in the
seem to
situation
be
at
talking about
hand.
these individuals here that in modern day times that will stand and cheer for a genocidal,
No,
warmongering,
that ain't what I'm saying. What I'm
separatist
saying is Jacques definitely wouldn't be hitting the bitch with a rock. But
president.
if Jacques was in the hitting the bitch with a rock crowd, Jacques ain't the hit a bitch with a Jacques ain't the hit a bitch with a rock person. But if Jacques was in the hit a bitch with a rock crowd and Jesus walked up talking about let he who was out there, that would have been the thing that made you hit that bitch with the rock. You would have just been there. You would just been there. You wouldn't even been in the rock throwing crowd, but let a nigga have walked up trying to get the crowd to not throw a rock. You would have definitely started pelting that bitch right at that moment. It wouldn't even been your goal to do it at first, but let Jesus have walked up talking about let he who you'd have been shut the fuck up and hit her with every rock in front of you.
Hey, look, fam. I don't agree with Jesus's religion for some parts, and that
Mind
has
you,
less to do
hitting
with
rocks, hitting
Jesus.
bitches with
Has
rocks was a very
less to do
acceptable
with
thing.
Jesus.
Think about
Has
right now.
less to do with Jesus, and more to do with the state of the individuals acting like they represent him in his teachings. So there's that. So the way that Jesus got down, from my interpretation of the Bible and how it speaks of him, I think we would have definitely been in tune, especially the years from like 15 to like probably like 26. When he was out here telling motherfuckers all kinds of shit and doing things about it. I think I might have been in tune with him in that realm. I think we would be more alike than different. Remember, this is the same Jesus. who was riding with a bunch of motherfuckers who was a little hot-headed. The police raided their dinner party, fam, and his man cut that nigga ear off. If they had guns, he would have shot him. The cops came in. This motherfucker pulled out a sword and chopped one of their ears off. Do you think he was trying to chop an ear off? That motherfucker move. They shot the nigga head off. He was ready to die and kill for his nigga. Look, I respect that. I feel that. Especially when you agree with the message. You saw this motherfucker heal leopards. You saw that man was dead in his bed for a while. Everybody knew he was gone. Lazarus was sitting there. He said, I'm gonna go ahead and wake him up. Don't worry about it. I got him. I'm gonna nudge him. He could get up. He did that. And motherfucker saw it. It's like, shit. Hey, look, I see a motherfucker do shit like that. I'm gonna be on the squad. I don't know what to tell you. You the man. I'm with you, fam. All day.
Clear the way. My man's
What
coming
you
through.
need? That
That
motherfucker
nigga was
went out
trying to
on the boat
God damn it,
in
what's that
the
nigga?
rain, in a storm, and said, shh, shh. And that shit said, all right. Birds started chirping and shit. Sun came out.
That nigga would have been Dougie Doug in Class Act. Clear the way. Blade Brown coming through. My man 50 grand.
I'm there. Now, if you fast forward to the part of the story, like, hey, look, now you know how you gonna end for you, right? Wait, whoa. I gotta do what? You mean they skint that motherfucker?
To death?
Ooh,
To
no,
death, my nigga?
I'm still riding with Jesus. Shit, it is what it is. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't think that the church, especially the black church, is what it needs to be, especially for black people. It seemed to be at a point, a place where we went to arm ourselves. Information, knowledge, what have you. We went we would go here to organize. We would go here to plan. We would go here to plot. We would make moves, and we would progress through our churches. And then became a point where we said, "Now we're gonna pull that shit out of here. We ain't gonna have no meetings about no activities and whatnot. We ain't gonna have no protest talk in here." And we've moved, fam. Do you think that 1974 Joe Biden would be invited to stand at the pulpit of the Mother Emanuel Church,
Probably
standing
not.
there after fresh off of walking off, getting his arm off the shoulders of Strom Thurmond, talking about how he's such a great guy. Fresh off of talking about how he was not in agreement with busing. He didn't want little black kids to go to school with little white kids. And when the thing he wanted to happen, he's on record for that. The woman to his left, the heartbeat away from his job, called him out on that very thing on a debate stage. And then tucked the motherfucking tail between her legs and was like, I'll be your vice president. You believe that about that man because you said that about that man. Because it's true about that man. Fam, the Biden of yesteryear could not stand on that pulpit and get away with that shit.
Nah.
He wouldn't even break himself to come to that church. I don't think.
Probably not. But it's a good thing that we didn't that the Biden of yesterday is not the president right now.
Fam, it's same Biden. Same Biden. I don't know why y'all think that man is something different. He ain't different. The motherfucker is good though. The motherfucker he is very, very good at his job. I tell you what, he He's not a dullard. He's astute. He studies. He watches. Fast forward for me, please, to 1708. He studies, he watches, he looks, he pays attention. He knows how to assimilate to the culture. He looks at us enough to know the things to ingratiate himself to us. This man got up here and turned a campaign speech into a sermon. He started preaching.
And for all of you,
And hey, look, if you've ever seen a preacher, a Baptist preacher, when he started working, when he started feeling it, he be talking up at the podium with both hands. And then when it's time, he gonna do a very, very specific thing. Hit play.
you who made that happen. And with your help, I made Juneteenth the first federal holiday since Dr. Martin Luther King Day. This works. Why? Because the truth matters. The truth matters. With your help, we established a national monument in honor of Mamie and Emmett Till. Because we heard Mrs. Till's call, the mother of a 14-year-old son who was lynched and whose body was mutilated.
Pause this real quick.
Insisted on
Emmett
an
Till
open
died
casket.
in what year?
Hmm?
Emmett Till died when? 1956 or so? Something like around there?
Yeah, around there.
Okay. You heard her call in 2020 fucking 4? Because the 50s happened. Emmett Till happened. And after Emmett Till, you were still you. So when did you hear her call? When did you hear that shit?
A couple weeks ago, probably.
Yeah, probably a couple weeks ago. The thing I wanted to point out that this motherfucker, that's how I know he studies, he watches. He picked that motherfucking microphone up. If you go to church, when the preacher started cooking, he'd be up at that pulpit the entire time, tied to that stationary microphone. But when it's time to get to the part of the sermon, he gonna grab that. He gonna grab that cordless. He gonna grab that cordless, and he gonna and boom, he'll tap it, he'll hit it. Biden ain't a great, but he good. He made mention of it. His own. He gonna check it, make sure.
I'm gonna round out your joking. It's called "I Love the Lord."
That's the deacon song when they sing it at the beginning. I'm talking about the I don't know the guy's name, but it's a certain dude's name. Candace know who the fuck I'm talking about, but he does the hemming and the calling out, and it's the and when the Lord comes around and we gonna get down in the fire and brimstone, and when you talk about Jesus, and you know what the goodness of the God has brought to you, and we're coming around here, and you're turning around here, talking a good Baptist, and the Lord's love. Dr. Watts. Thank you, producer. Dr. Watts. And it's that. They do that when they're about to grab that mic. They grab that mic, then that's when they're going to get into that part of their sermon. It's like clockwork. You watch them all, they got a time, and it's like a fucking concert. It's amazing when Prince does 3 encores until you realize that motherfucker planned to do 3 encores.
Yeah, that's just the set list.
That was part of the show. You forgive it for Prince. You don't need it to be spiritual to him to be in the spirit. Yeah, that's a show. But when you at church,
So you can forgive Prince, but you can't forgive Jesus?
No, I can't forgive the pastor portraying himself as a servant of Jesus, doing all this fake ass shit. Jesus cool in my book. Jesus cool in his book. Jesus ain't cool in the way they read his book. At all. I just wanted to point that part out. And then the last part I wanted to point out was at 21 minutes. I don't even know why I made a note of that, but it say 21 minutes, so let's go to 21 minutes.
Long time. More Blacks Americans have health insurance than ever bringing peace of mind and dignity to their lives. I remember when I was a kid, we lived in a 3-bedroom house with 4 kids and a grandpa lived with us. And my headboard in my room was up against a little split level home. We weren't poor, anyway, we sure weren't worth the wealthy. And I remember really one night hearing my dad restless because the headboard was along my headboard on the other side of the wall. I asked my mom the next morning, I said, "What's the matter with Dad?" She said, "Honey, his employer just told her they're dropping health insurance." What that does is deprives a man and a woman of their dignity. How do you
Hold
look
on,
at your
hold on, hold on,
child
hold on, hold on,
and
hold
say, "I
on.
can't cover you, I can't take care of you"?
I think Joe Biden might be mistaken that with the time that he heard his parents fucking, and he had a dream. He had a dream about his parents fucking 2 weeks ago while he was reading the healthcare bill. Like, first
Oh,
of all, there's no responsible adult that's going to tell their 12-year-old child that their father lost his health insurance. Second of all, there's nothing to have you banging a headboard late and random ass night, this random ass Tuesday.
hey,
Nah, that nigga was fucking.
hey, look, I know when I'm up at night worrying about the bills, I sit in my bed and I go back and forth against my headboard like this. Just knocking that motherfucker against the wall. It's going. And then sometimes when I'm really frustrated, I speed it up. And if I really be fucked up, and then sometimes it depends on how depressed I am at the moment, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um uh this motherfucker's on the pulpit just lying. Um he's lying about what he thought that was. You 80, dude. You 80. You know what the fuck that was. It was fucking. But you want to go with the story of your family was so torn up about the loss of health coverage and with it being tied to a job and all, which is the current reality of millions of Americans under your stewardship, fam. And while you like to act as though you are so anti-pharma, anti-big pharma, we're gonna give it to them. I'm gonna show them we're not gonna pay you all that money. We're just gonna pay you some of it and then the rest of it later. While you act like you so much against them, while you act like this thing from your family's history, this anecdote tore you up so much, you're currently on record, previously on record, historically on record, being against the thing that would alleviate this problem for would have alleviated this problem for your family and would alleviate it for millions of Americans. Employment-based healthcare. It's horrible. 70% of the people under your stewardship are calling for universal health care. You are on record being against it. It's the very thing that would alleviate this problem that has tormented you since you was a little boy listening to the knock on the wall from the headboard in your parents' bedroom. But 80 years later, you have yet to come up with the right solution to that problem of the young Joe Biden.
Hey.
In the face of everybody that you lord over, telling you universal health care, universal health care, universal health care, universal health care. You said no. You staunchly say no. You continually say no. You don't fight in the vein of that thing. You fight in the vein of, well, let's reduce the health cost. Let's reduce insulin cost to $30. All while standing there saying it's triple what it costs. How are you acting altruistic by telling people, I'm doing you a favor? I'm only going to let them charge you 3 times what it's worth.
Ooh, you
And
should have
then get
seen the number they
applauded
was
for the
trying to come up with.
and then get applauded for it. by the dumbass black church. That was it. I had to get all that out.
Hey, I salute Joe Biden for being for understanding the effects of not having certain things happen. Like Joe Biden has seen the Flash. He's seen the movie. He knows what happens if you try to change the past and try to solve problems of the past just because you have the ability to do so now. He don't want that. Fucking Supergirl died because Flash wanted his mama.
Man, you
Bruce
can't go.
Wayne died because the Flash wanted his mama. He went back in time, saved his mama, and that's all of the effects that happen. Joe Biden knows that, hey, universal health care can solve all this. But if I do that, then young Joe is going to understand. All of the future young Joes are going to find out that their parents are fucking, and that is way too traumatic on these young minds. It might create a whole class of supervillains. Therefore,
Whole new paradox.
yeah,
Oh, okay. All right. All right. The healthcare paradox. That's what's up. I couldn't. The pharma paradox.
yeah, yeah.
It
See,
still counts as alliteration, right?
nah, nah, it don't work with signing letters.
Hey, look. Technically, it still counts as alliteration. It said it had to begin with the same letter, right?
Yeah, not the same
That's how
sound, but
dumb
still.
alliteration is. I think I said that to begin with. Hey, look. I don't know. Fuck Joe Biden. I don't know what you had to
Mm,
say about him. You might like him.
Nah, I have no opinion of none of that speech. I don't understand why they should not let white people in their church at all in the first fucking place.
Motherfuckers don't
President
learn.
or parishioners, none. Like if
Don't
there
learn.
is any place that has earned the right to be to segregate, it is definitely this church. So
Mhm.
he shouldn't have been there. Those protesters definitely should not have been there. Those are the people who really were disruptive. You trying to complain about the auntie that spoke to Joe Biden? She definitely had way more of a reason to speak at that church than whatever those white people were who would not have known or given zero fucks about that church if Joe Biden had not have been there. They saw that as a moment to take away from the the conversation about us. Now, how much you believe this conversation
Okay. Okay.
is irrelevant, but that bull that speaking out was to take the focus off of us and try to put it into a situation that literally has nothing to do with us and does not affect us in the least.
You know, you full well saying this from an administration that does not specifically target us with roughly 90%,
Hmm.
98% of their legislation. I think
Yeah,
I think
sure
he
did.
got $7 billion to HBCUs. And hey, look, I guess that's a good thing because everyone is saying how amazing it is. But didn't Trump give him 5 billion?
Mm-hmm.
So how was Trump's 5 billion horrible, nothing, insignificant? But Joe Biden's 7 billion is a beacon of hope. This is a this is the most amazing thing any president has ever done for us ever. This is the most money we ever got. This is the
Mm-hmm.
last time we got the most money we ever got. He ain't doing no favors, fam. He gave HBCU $7 billion. Okay, cool. You gave Ukraine $100 billion.
Mm-hmm. And so you said that they didn't that this administration targets black people with like 90% of the legislation is not targeted towards us, right?
I'm saying none of the legislation is targeted towards us. Towards us, I said 90% to be nice. It ain't
Mhm.
targeted towards us, and that $7 billion that you're gonna hang on uh HBCUs and the bullshit. He put a black woman in the Supreme Court. Okay, cool. He's appointed more black women to the federal appeals circuit courts than anybody else, than all the presidents ever. It sound good till you realize all the presidents ever put 2 motherfuckers in there and he put 4.
Mhm.
Whoop de fucking do.
Okay.
What is that in regards to what we were asking to be done as a country, as black people of this man before he was elected? The things he said he was going to do while he was running. How are we not at the point where we, as a collective, want to hold him accountable for the things that he says, the things he does, and more importantly, the things he does not do? He does not keep us safe. He does not represent us well. He does not make our economy boom. He is marching us towards World War III. He is every fucking quarter last year, they raised the interest rate, blew it up. You can't buy a house right now, but they want to tell you how great the economy is doing and how it's marching towards something better. You have people sitting here telling you that they won't buy houses no more because it's just untenable. It's so untenable. You have corporations buying up residential properties to build and siphon money from hardworking American people to further place the American dream out of reach of the American people. Joe Biden is allowing Chinese companies to come in and buy shit. He's allowing a lot of different countries to come in and corporately buy American land. And he's not unique in that shit. Every other president before him allowed that shit to happen too. But at a point, we had to see this shit as a problem. At a point, we have to recognize that we have a housing crisis and what is putting us into the housing crisis. We got to recognize shit that's fucking us up. We never do. We don't look at it. We don't look at the people that are in charge. We don't hold them accountable. And we just act like to do a whole lot of great shit. He's fucking us as a whole. He is, I don't know what's worse than fucking, but he's raping us specifically. Black people. Black people. Said China owns 380,000 acres of land in the US. Here's where. If it was rural farmland, it'd be less concerning, but also concerning because that's how we make food. It's residential shit. It's residential areas. They're pricing American people out of the American dream on his watch. He's doing nothing about it. He's telling you, in fact, that you are doing amazing. It's the lowest black unemployment rate we've ever had ever. They're not telling you that they stopped counting motherfuckers who stopped looking for jobs because they just felt so disheartened with it, they just gave up. They changed the way they count they count the people, and then tell you that it's doing better than ever. No, count the same way you've been counting, and then tell me it's doing better than ever. But don't start counting different and then tell me it's better. You can't change the equation and then tell me the answer is just as good.
Okay. All right. So, two things. One.
Bring your mic down.
Um.
Bring your mic down.
Okay. All right. So, two things. One. Nigga, you diatribe so fucking long that I forgot where I was going with my joke when I asked you that question about the 90%.
My
and
bad.
then you
My
just
bad.
talk for like 3 minutes later straight. And number two, they've counted unemployment like that for at least the past 7, 8 years that I know of. That has been a thing for a while now. That the unemployment percentage is only the percentage of people that are currently looking for jobs. I mean, that was one of the criticisms about it when Donald Trump talked about that shit. That there's only the that whole lowest percentage of unemployment rate is only for people who are still actively looking.
Mm-hmm.
That whole more jobs people than unemployed people shit that he was talking for them last couple of years that he was in office is only because motherfuckers had stopped looking. So yeah, the way that they count the unemployment numbers are nothing new. Just want
Well,
to add that in.
I thought Trump changed how he started counting numbers, and I thought Biden changed it again. I'm listening to you. I don't want to interrupt you. I'm listening to you. I'm listening. I'm walk away, but I can still hear you.
Nah, that was pretty much it. Um, just I forgot where I was going with my joke about the 90%, but it's okay. Yeah. So most of the legislation is not directed for us. However, 100% of that goddamn speech that he was giving at that church was directed towards us. And those motherfuckers in the crowd hijacked it. Because why talk about black people problems when there are other people problems who are apparently more important than black people? So yeah, regardless of the merit that they have for saying the shit that they said, shut the fuck up. It's about us. That is my take on